With this video, I'd like to discuss some very basic information about thread twist. With additional videos, we'll talk about more of the details. But here, let's just take some 6/0 Flymaster, and we're going to wind on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 revolutions in a standard jam hitch. Now, as I wound that thread on, I'm twisting the thread. I'm twisting in a clockwise direction, that being clockwise, that being counterclockwise, and we'll prove that to you in just a little bit. But let's see that demonstrated for us by simply letting the bobbin holder go and see what happens. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a 5th revolution. So we've now removed those winds of thread that I'm going to prove to you in a little bit were created when I wound over and under. But let's see what happens if we let it go again. I mean, purposely just spin it slightly what I call clockwise. In other words, if you're looking down the face of a clock, that's clockwise, that's counterclockwise. But let's see what happens. Even though I started to turn in a clockwise direction, it's the nature of the thread to go in a counterclockwise direction. Why? Well, I removed all the winds that I created when I wound around here. The reason is because the spool right down here, or the bobbin, this, by the way, is not technically a bobbin, it's a bobbin holder. This is the bobbin down here. When it's spooled at the factory, it's spooled on in a clockwise direction. So as I'm winding on this way, I'm adding additional clockwise twist. Most all thread on the market today that I know of, there are a few flat wound threads. Most of them are in clockwise except for Lagerton. Lagerton is spooled in a counterclockwise direction. Now, I said I was going to prove to you that thread gets twisted in a clockwise direction. Got a nifty little tool here that a student in one of my classes gave to me. Down on the bobbin here, you have a rubber band, and then in the bobbin holder, I have a paper clip, or he has a paper clip that he put in there for me. That's going to represent the thread as it's wound on. Watch the rubber band down here. You notice the rubber band twists. Well, the question is, what direction is that twist? So let's take it off, and we'll hold it in front of us here, and it's going to either go this way in a clockwise direction, which would prove me wrong, or it's going to go this way in a counterclockwise direction, unwinding the clockwise twist. Well, guess what? It just wants to go in a counterclockwise direction and remove that twist, just like our thread did that we wound on a little bit earlier. Now, just to confuse things a little further, let me emphasize again, as you're winding on in this direction, over the top and under toward you, over the top and under toward you, you're putting on a clockwise twist in that thread. But as I say, I want to confuse you. If I take the thread and I wind under and over, as some fly tires do, like so, the opposite's going to be the case. I'm actually putting in a counterclockwise twist in that thread. And to add to all of that, I'm so used to winding on in the conventional direction. Let's be a left-hand tire winding over and under, over and under. That's going to put in a counterclockwise twist. Or if you're like Oliver Edwards and you tie left-handed and you tie under and over towards you, you're putting a clockwise twist. So it can be confusing, but since most of you tie right-handed, over and under, the thing to remember is that every time you're winding around in that direction, you're going to be creating an additional clockwise twist in that thread.